or tactical team.
Hey there guys, this is me, Malorian, and this is going to be another orc tactical team that has nothing to do with tactics. This is going to be a discussion about what's going on with Privateer Press and them destroying and dismantling the press ganger system. Now you can also hear that my voice is kind of getting a little bad here. I might be coughing and stuff, so sorry if I do cough and I sound silly, but we're going to be talking about what they did do and then kind of my thoughts of why they might have done this and what I think is going to happen because of this, and maybe a little bit too about what I think they could have done better. Now, here are the details. Here are the facts. The other day here, Privateer Press put out a statement saying, "We are disbanding the press ganger system. Thank you to everyone, but it's coming to an end." The reasonings that they give is that things are just getting so busy now. There's so many different press gangers. It's such a massive system to try and contain and actually use, and it's just not feasible anymore. What they're going to be doing instead is they're going to be moving to a retailer-based system. So really, if you didn't know, press gangers, you had to run events, and when you ran events, you got points. And for these points, they had a store where you could go on and spend those points to get free stuff. So awesome. Press gangers got a little free something for running stuff. Instead, now they're going to be moving to a new system where the store will be running it and pretty much bring in a kit, but whoever runs it for them, whoever takes that lead, there's going to be an exclusive model contained with it as well that's supposed to be going to the person running the event. So, okay, so from that part there, free stuff before, free stuff now. Another awesome thing that they did do is they actually came out and said, you know what, as a big thank you to all your press gangers, here is this limited edition model. It's going to be a alternate sculpt for the Ogren Bokur. It's basically this Ogren pirate with this privateer shield and this big harpoon. Really looks awesome. And in that store I told you about, you just need to go on there, plug in your code, and you get the model for free and the shipping is free. And at this point here, I just want to say this is a huge tip of the hat to Privateer Press because they did not have to do this. If they're going in and doing this change, they could say, all right, here's the change. See ya. And that could have been it. But they actually went the extra mile to not only have this extra model created, but then to give it out for free. We already stated that there's so many press gangers out there and it's so hard to manage. So the idea that you're now going to be making this exclusive free model for all of them, that is amazing, and that's a very great move and very generous move from Privateer Press. Now, those are the facts. That's what's happened. Now, let's try and talk about some of the theories that are coming out. Now, as we stated, the reason that Privateer Press is stopping this is because it's getting so huge and hard to actually manage. Now, I can definitely see that this is a real possibility because it's a lot of work. You know, worldwide, you have all these press gangers. You have to manage them as far as inputting them into the system and keeping track of all their profiles. Whenever they run events, they have to send those events in, and then you have to go and verify the events, make sure you enter in their points. You then have to have the system all set up so they can actually go in and spend these points. And it was even getting to a thing where they had to change the system because each point was basically $1, and so since cards were like 50 cents, they had to like double your points so that each of their points was actually now 50 cents. It was getting kind of silly, and you know, with all the things combined and all, like say, like people sending in questions, right? Hey, I did this. Does this count for this? Hey, I sent in this. I don't have all these names. Is this okay? I can only imagine it's so much work behind the scenes to actually try and run this. But some people are wondering if they're doing this for another reason. And another reason is that actually Wizard of the Coast with Magic the Gathering is going through a silly lawsuit right now where the judges there are trying to say, hey, you know, we're doing this work and you're not paying us. So we are missing wages. We're going to sue you. You know, it's the states. They sue over everything. But as ridiculous as that sounds, that volunteers are demanding money, some people are wondering that because of the timing between the two, maybe that's what Privateer Press is worried about. Even though press gangers are a volunteer system, the whole fact that people might be trying to claim some lost fees could be a possibility. Now, whether that's real or not, who can ever know? We can never know if that's actually true, but it's something that might actually be there. Now, another reason why they could be doing this is actually just also the money. We're talking about all those points and all the free things they give out, and I'm sure with all these different people trying to give away this free product, it's probably cost them a lot of money. So to try and run this program, there's got to be a point where you're looking at the benefits to the cost and going like, oh, I don't know if this is worth it anymore. So that could definitely be a part of it. Now, here's my take on it. My take is that this is a huge mistake on Privateer Press's point, and our side rather, and this is why. Now, let's look at what the reasoning could be. The reasoning could be it's very hard to manage. The reasoning could be that it's really difficult to handle in a cost size way. And the reasonings could be that you're worried about a lawsuit. Well, attacking the lawsuit thing separately, if you just did some simple thing where it's like, hey, next time that you enter in your points, you have to read through this agreement and click this box that confirms that this is a volunteer position. All right, there you go, done. That thing's not a worry. So that's why I don't really feel that's a really substantial reason why they did it, because I feel that the fix would be really, really easy. So that leaves the other two reasons, which is that it's massive and hard to control and also costs a lot as well. Well, the thing is that you could easily fix that by just changing that system. So for right now, the press gangers who are doing events and you are giving them free product, well, if you would have changed that system so that your whole monitoring program wouldn't be as in-depth and as intensive for the work, well, then that's not an issue anymore. So let's say for this example, hey, you know what, as it's going right now, thank you for all the work, but it's just too big to manage. And so what we're going to do now is, instead of whenever you put in events and we're giving you points and blah, 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 that's no longer going to be a thing anymore. Sorry, that's something that we really needed before but don't need now. So now, in order to stay a press ganger, you need to do 2 events a year. And that's something they had before. If you didn't do 2 events a year, you'd lose your press gang affiliation. And as your reward for being a press ganger, we're going to start giving you early information. So there is that like CID form where they're starting to like develop things, but all of a sudden now be like, hey, press gangers, here's this early release. This is not like we're developing the rules. No, here's some early art. Here's some early rules of stuff that's going to be coming out. All these little tidbits are going to be extra come out. Maybe just some art, right? Like here's some awesome art. Feel free to download it. It's completely free. There's nothing you need to track. And all of a sudden you still have this community of press gangers. And that's really the biggest loss here, is that the press gangers themselves really hold communities together. This is a person that is in a community saying, hey, if anybody wants to learn about War Machine, come to me. On their Privateer website, you can actually go and search for a press ganger in your area and be like, hey, I just moved to this town. I saw that you're the press ganger. Can you give me a demo and introduce me to the club? Yeah, of course I can. And that was a huge benefit. Or even just having this person that's going to be there saying, I'm going to be in there and I'm going to run these events because I'm the leader. I want to be doing this for whatever reward. And if I don't do at least 2, I lose my benefits. And now that that's not linked in that way, I really feel that's going to go away. Like for my part here, where I feel that, okay, I'm a pillar in the community. I am the press ganger. I have to really show what it is to love War Machine. I have to run awesome events. Sure, I'll get a reward, but it's more of a thing where I want to be staying with that little like feather in my hat and that badge. Like I am a press ganger, and it almost kind of like defines me. And by me wanting to hold on to that, whether it's self-centered or whatever have you, it's a great benefit to the community. Having this core group of people that are saying, rah, rah, War Machine, come out and come to my events, and now that's all gone. Sure, they're going to have now these stores run these, and it's supposed to be whoever, but now it's like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather play. I'm literally now gaining nothing for running this event. Sure, I'm getting some exclusive model, but who knows if it's anything I even want. I mean, I really think this little exclusive model won't be a big thing that people are fighting over. Maybe I'll be proved wrong, but to me, it's like, well, some random model for running this, and I have no pressures whatsoever to do this. You know, maybe I'll play in this event. Maybe I won't run. Or maybe I'm going to go and relax this weekend. And I really feel that's now taking the pressure off the press gangers, which is not going to be beneficial in any way whatsoever. So with this all in general then, you have these press gangers that you had before as your rah, and now just losing all their interest. Now, while we're talking about that, let's talk about the whole idea of them getting a reward for running this tournament. Some people, either before or maybe now that you've learned about it, so like, ha! You press gangers, this is why you care about it. You just want your free stuff. Okay, let's get something straight here. If I run a massive tournament on the weekend, I get about the same amount of points to be like $20. And I don't know where you work, but my time, and let's say, you know, from running the tournament, we're talking like 8 hours minimum. The prep before that, let's say another 8 hours. I don't think $20 is worth 16 hours of my time. So if that's your argument, it's a very weak one. When I run some of my big tournaments, I do this for the community, and I take a loss at almost every single event. The fact that I monetarily lose $50 and then gain in points $20, that's not making me want to do this. I'm doing this because I want to be that press ganger and I'm pushing it, and it's rah, go war machine. So for anyone who's out there thinking that the press gangers are just mad because they're losing out on their free points, it's not that. It's more so that community and that draw together. So at any rate, I really think that this is going to be a bad mistake by the team of the privateer press. Trying to hold in my cough, so it's not working. And what I feel is going to happen is that in a lot of communities, they're going to be very hurt by this. They're going to see fewer events, and the people that might have been the pillars before, they're press gangers, I'm sure in a lot of cases, there's going to be people just fading away, saying, you know what, I have no push to do this anymore. Plus, I feel insulted. I feel insulted that I've been doing this stuff for you for so long, and you're just going to rip my title away, right? So that's going to really hurt. Now, the stores also have another issue in that I'm running a store and I have this free model. And I could give it to this guy to run it, but I'm in here to try and make some money. And if I have it saying that here's an exclusive model, if you come out here and play, I'm going to give it to the winner or a random draw or something like this, I'll have more people signing up for my tournament and I'm going to make more money. That's awesome. So I don't even know if in a lot of the cases the organizer's even going to get this model. So that whole part of it remains to be seen. It's just maybe the cynical part of me thinks that's going to happen, is that in a lot of cases stores are just going to hold on to it. You also have the issue where some people in their area, they just don't have a store. So maybe there's going to be some workaround to this. I'm sure there must be. They must think about this. But the problem is that before, you just need to have a leader being called a press ganger, and now you have to be built around these stores. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cases where that's going to be an issue. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be also the people that run a store, run an event, the exclusive model comes in, and they're like, all right, mark that down for $50, put it on the shelf, and we're just going to sell it separately. I'm sure that's going to happen as well. So overall, I am very, very disappointed. For me, I've been running events for a long time. I was pretty much like an undercover press ganger because I've been doing the work for years. It was only in the last year I actually was an official press ganger. And to me, I do feel insulted and I do feel very disappointed in Privateer Press for doing this. There's been a lot of links being made to Games Workshop. Games Workshop used to have their own forums, then they got rid of them because of whatever reasons. Privateer Press is doing the same. Games Workshop used to have their Grey Knights who are supposed to be running events. Then they got rid of them, really hurt them, and it seems like the same thing's going to happen here. Of course, these are two companies, and I mean, the whole stuff are like, they're just turning into Games Workshop. If Privateer Press ever becomes publicly owned, that's when you need to worry about this. But for right now, I just hope the community doesn't really suffer. So what you should do is, if you're watching this and you got a local press ganger who's probably really bummed that he lost his title, go out and say like, hey buddy, you're still a press ganger to me, and I'm really looking forward to going to your events and trying to breathe and not cough. So anyway, go out there, try and encourage those press gangers. Make sure you touch base with your stores so that they understand this new system and figure out how they're going to be handling it. Are they going to be giving it to the organizer? Are they going to be doing a draw? What are they going to be doing? But either way, this is what it is, and this is the decision that Privateer Press made, and I just hope it won't be too negative of an impact on them. So anyway, guys, as always, I love hearing your thoughts on it. Please put it down below, and I'll catch you later. Bye.